Shalom and welcome to TGC. In today's video, we will expand on my last video titled Confirmed by Three Muslims, Quran Contains Error and Falsehood. And yes, in this video does prove that the Quran contains error. Many have left comments saying that the Quran does not contain any errors. Well, obviously, they are schoolboys and they don't, one, understand, comprehend our holy scriptures found in the one true book, the Holy Bible, because not all Israelites are Jews. But that's not the point for this video. We're going to show more proof that the Quran contains error and falsehood. And you may ask, how are we going to do this? We are going to do this with our holy scriptures found in our one true book, the Holy Bible. If you've seen the last video, you will see that we understand our scriptures and as we displayed in the video, that three Muslims confirmed that Jews are from one tribe of Judah. Of the 12 tribes, only one tribe are Jews. The other tribes are not Jews. But in their Quran, as we see here, it states that the Torah was given for the Jews, made judgments for Jews. So this clearly demonstrates that the Quran lumps all of Israel as Jews, which is in error, or that it was given to just one tribe, which is in error as well. So either way they want to try to defend this, they cannot. And this is how we prove that the Quran is in error. Because like I said in the video, whoever compiled this book, the Quran, had the understanding that all Israelites are Jews, or they were only aware of the tribe of Judah or Judea at the time that this was compiled. But let us not digress too much. Let us go back and if you follow my channel, you know that I make the claim that the Quran is the corruption of our Holy Bible. That Islam is trying to steal the election, the inheritance, and the covenant from the house of Jacob. That Islam is the ultimate true replacement theology. It's Ishmael and Esau trying to rob Jacob of their election, their inheritance, and the covenant. So how are we going to prove in today's video that the Quran contains more error? And the way we're going to do this is that when we see these Dawah guys at the park or we watch these Dawah videos at Speaker's Corner or Stratford or Niceton Square, wherever we watch them, the Dawah script is that the God of the Quran is the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which the more you understand and are given knowledge of our holy scriptures in the Bible, that it becomes more clear that Allah is not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God found in the Holy Bible and the God found in the Quran are two different gods. They are two different entities. And how are we going to prove this? Because we're going to demonstrate that in their Dawah, when they claim that Muhammad came with the same message as the previous prophets from Moses, David, Jesus, and the other prophets that we find in the Old Covenant, in the Old Testament, it is not the same message. And how are we going to do this? By our scriptures found in that one true book, the Holy Bible. Now, I make the claim, which is easily backed up, but I will show you just a few scriptures so that this video is not too long. And if any of my brothers and sisters would like to dwell more in on this, just reach out to me and we can go over it. We can do lives together. We can make these live videos and go over these scriptures and many more. And at the same time, we can teach our brethren and sisters. But from the whole entire Bible, Genesis to Revelation, it teaches us of a second Exodus. And I will show you a few scriptures that tell us this. It says Psalms right here, but we're not in Psalms. Let us go to the scriptures are the same, but it says Psalms, but let's just change it. It's Jeremiah 16. We're in Jeremiah 16. And we will show in verse 14. It tells us, verse 14 of chapter 16 in the book of Jeremiah. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord lives who brought up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt. And what was this when the Lord who brought up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt? That's the Exodus from Egypt. But the Lord lives who brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where he had driven them. For I will bring them back into their land, which I gave to their fathers. Now, there's Muslims out there who teach that, oh, God in the Bible, he kicked the Israelites out of their land and that they will never come back. But this contradicts what they say. A half a truth is not the complete truth. It will say, which is true, that they were exiled. We all know that the Israelites were exiled. But the lie that they teach is that they are never to be returned. But here it tells us, for I will bring them back into their land. Whose land? All of the Israelites, including the Jews, which I gave to their fathers. So he's saying that it will no longer be said the Lord lives who brought up the children from the land of Egypt, the first Exodus, but the Lord lives who brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where he had driven them. For I will bring them back into their land, which I gave to their fathers. That is the second greater Exodus. From all the lands where he had driven them, all the lands where he placed them in exile, where he drove them out. Next verse is Isaiah 11. And in that day, we must understand what is that day. There shall be a root of Jesse, that's our Messiah Jesus, who shall stand as a banner to the people, for the Gentiles shall seek him. And they say Messiah was not sent to the Gentiles, that he was not sent for all the world, but only for the Israelites. When they make that statement, there's only a couple of possibilities. that they are schoolboys when it comes to our holy scriptures, or they are being deceitful and lying. And his resting place shall be glorious. It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, who are his people, the Israelites, who are left from Assyria and Egypt, Pathros and Cush, from Elam and Shinar, from Hamath and the islands of the sea. He will set up a banner for the nations and will assemble the outcasts of Israel. Who are the outcasts of Israel? Those who are dispersed, and gather together dispersed of Judah, the four corners of the earth. Also, the envy of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Who are the adversaries of Judah? Who today are the adversaries of Judah that shall be cut off? I think we all know. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not harass Ephraim. But they shall fly down upon the shoulder of the Philistines towards the west. Together they shall plunder the people of the east. The Israelites will plunder the people of the east, who are east of Israel. They shall lay their hand on Edom and Moab, and the people of Ammon shall obey them. The Lord will utterly destroy the tongue of the sea of Egypt. With his mighty wind, he will shake his fist over the river, the Euphrates, and strike it in the seven streams, and make men cross over dry shod. There will be a highway for the remnant of his people, who are his people, the Israelites, who will be left from Assyria. Here it is, as it was for Israel in the day that he came up from the land of Egypt. This is second Exodus, greater Exodus language. Micah 7, start at verse 8. Do not rejoice over me, my enemy. When I fall, I will arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord will be a light to me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. Until he pleads my case and executes justice for me. He will bring me forth to the light. I will see his righteousness. Then she who is my enemy will see who is the enemy of Israel. And shame will cover her who said to me, where is the Lord your God? My eyes will see her. Now she will be trampled down like mud in the streets. In that day, what day is this? When your walls are to be built, in that day, the decree shall go far and wide. In that day, they shall come to you from Assyria and the fortified cities, from the fortress to the river, the Euphrates, from sea to sea. They even try to steal this from us. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free of what? Jews. They even steal this. And mountain to mountain, yet the land shall be desolate because of those who dwell in it, and for the fruit of their deeds. Shepherd your people with your staff, the flock of your inheritance, who dwell solitary in woodland. In the midst of Carmel, let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in days of old. Verse 15, as in the days when you came out of the land of Egypt, I will show them wonders. This is second Exodus, greater Exodus language. Therefore, behold, we're in Hosea 2:14. For behold, I will allure her, bring her to the wilderness, and speak comfort to her. I will give her her vineyards from there in the valley of Achor as a door of hope. She shall sing there as in the days of her youth. What is the days of her youth? As in the day when she came up from the land of Egypt. Again, this is second greater Exodus language. And we started off in Jeremiah 16. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord lives who brought up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, the first Exodus. But the Lord lives who brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where he had driven them, for I will bring them back into their land which I gave to their fathers. So, can anyone explain or prove, show me in the Quran or the Hadiths where the message is the same as the prophets of the Holy Bible? Did Muhammad come with the same message that the Israelites will return, all the Israelites, all the house of Jacob, all the tribes of Israel will return back to their promised land, Israel? Did Muhammad really come with the same message? Did Muhammad teach that all of the Israelites, all 12 tribes, will return in the end times at the second coming of our Messiah Jesus? I have not seen it in the Quran or the Hadith. I've never heard any of the Dawah guys that we watch in these videos say that the Israelites, all the tribes of Israel, not just the Jews, not just Judah, but all the tribes of Israel will return. Are they ignorant of our scriptures? Or is it that that particular message just so happens to have been forgotten? Was it deliberate? Or is it more proof that whoever compiled the Quran was ignorant of this second Exodus, of this greater Exodus? Because I've seen it taught that yes, they were driven out, they were cast, they were kicked out of the land, they were dispersed, they went into exile, but they also say that they will never return. But this contradicts what came first. What comes first is always the truth. Those that come second is the corruption. This is how they're trying to steal the election, the inheritance, and the covenant from Jacob. They leave the second half of the truth. They only tell you one bit, half a truth. That yes, the Bible tells turn back to God, the one true God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But the other side of the coin of the message is that he's going to bring them back and set up the millennium reign, the 1,000-year time when he will tabernacle with his people. Now, why is this not taught? Because they don't want this truth to go out. I'm sure they know it. This is why you never see them in the park debate end times prophecy. This is end times prophecy when he returns. They will ask Christians, oh, look, why does Jesus, if he's all loving, all forgiven, why does he fight when he returns? It's because the first Exodus will repeat itself during the second Exodus. When he returns, he's going to take vengeance for his people from those people who come against his people. And who comes against his people today? Who's denying the Father and the Son? Who denies that our Messiah Jesus died on the cross? Who is antichrist? He that denies the Father and the Son. I make the claim that their end times Dajjal, antichrist, they claim will be a fake, a false Jewish leader, a false prophet, a false Jewish leader, in that their version of Jesus will kill that fake Jewish leader. But he also comes with the Dajjal. Jesus will kill the Dajjal, but he returns with the Mahdi. He comes with the Mahdi, the Mahdi. So Islam has two end time entities that return. But in our end times prophecy, we have our Jewish king returning, and he will fight the false prophet and the beast. Our Messiah Jesus returns alone, and he fights two end time entities that just so happens we see prophesied in Islam, which Jesus will fight one end time entity in their prophecy, but in our prophecy we got one coming fighting two. You see how they mirror each other. It does not surprise me that you never hear them speaking, debating, chatting about end times prophecy, because I believe that they know, as we see in this Al-Bukhari Hadith 29:26, that Muhammad said the hour will not be established until you fight with the Jews. And the stone behind which a Jew will be hiding will say, "O Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me. So kill him." But we just saw in our scriptures that the Jews are going to return. And he's going to give them their land back to them that he gave to their fathers. Just like when they came out of Egypt. So how is this the same God? And the error is when they made this Quran the counterfeit of our holy scriptures, they left out all these prophecies of the Israelites, all the 12 tribes returning back home. Just so conveniently, all these prophecies of the Israelites returning just so happens to have disappeared. And what is the part of their game plan? They want people, they are trying to plant doubt in people's minds that our holy scriptures have been corrupted, that it's untrustworthy. But yet, just so conveniently, they also have the solution, which was the last revelation, which is don't follow Messiah Jesus. We have a replacement for him. He is called Muhammad. You must believe in him. You got to give your allegiance to him. And those people of the book, we're going to fight them. The last hour will not come. The end times will not come until we fight them. And a stone will cry out, "O Muslim, there's a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill him." So all these prophecies that we see throughout all the prophets, Torah, the writings, the New Testament of the second Exodus, the greater Exodus, just disappeared in the Quran. How convenient of the Ishmaelites and the Edomites to come up with this plan to counterfeit our Holy Bible and erase, to do away with all these prophecies that the Israelites will return. Because we know it is written, when he gathers them back, like we just read those 4 passages in our Holy Bible. When he brings them back, he will go into a covenant, a second covenant. Behold, see, same thing, the days are coming, says the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So here you go. You have 2 houses here. One is called the house of Israel, and the second house is called the house of Judah. This is where you get the Jews. Like we saw in the Quran, Surah 5, verse 44, where it was the Torah was given for judgment to the Jews. So who are these people? The house of Israel. We know the house of Judah is one tribe, which is the southern kingdom. But then who are these people? These are the northern kingdom, what we know today as the lost 10 tribes. So obviously, these are 2 different groups, 2 different peoples. You got 10 tribes here, and you got 2 tribes here. So because the northern kingdom was long gone, even before the exile to Babylon. So those who compiled the Quran was ignorant of these people, the lost 10 tribes. And did our Messiah Jesus, did he not say, I was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Are you connecting the dots now? That's another thing that they like to claim. Oh, Jesus only came for the Israelites, the Jews. I've heard them say it. I heard them read it correctly where they say, oh, he was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I heard them say, oh, he was only sent to the Israelites. I heard them say he was only sent to the Jews. So they're all off the mark because they really don't know our prophecies. But he said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He had to come and make a way for these people to return home. That was that was the mission of his first coming. He had to make it legal for the 10 lost tribes to return. And he did that through his death on the cross and his resurrection, because the house of Judah was still there. But when the death happened and he resurrected, we understand by the whole teaching of the Holy Bible that Israel as a whole, and that is the house of Jacob, all the tribes of Israel, that Israel as a whole is the vehicle that it opens up to all mankind. Because just like the first Exodus, the second Exodus will have a greater amount of mixed multitude that come out with them. When you understand biblical prophecy, it's easy to see. So let us look at one last one before I end this video, because I don't want it too long. people don't have a long attention span. We'll just start here at 15. Again, we're at Ezekiel 37. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, As for you, son of man, take a stick for yourself and write on it, for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, a second stick, and write on it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. There it is again, the house of Israel. And why Ephraim? Because Ephraim was the head tribe of the northern kingdom, the house of Israel. And how did he become the head tribe? Because he was given the firstborn blessing from Jacob. You can see that in Genesis 48. Then join them one to another for yourself into one stick, and they will become one in your hand. So he's taken two sticks and put them into one. This is the second Exodus. This is second Exodus language. This is when he gathers all the tribes back to himself. And when the children of your people speak to you, saying, Will you not show us what you mean by these? Say to them, Thus says the Lord, surely I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim. Why? Because Ephraim was the younger son of Joseph. It was Ephraim and Manasseh who were the two sons of Joseph. Ephraim being the firstborn, the secondborn, the younger brother, though he was the younger brother, not the firstborn, he was given the firstborn blessing by Jacob. Read chapter 48 of Genesis. Jacob crosses his arms, puts his right hand on Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I will join them with it with the stick of Judah. So again, we have the southern kingdom, the stick of Judah, the house of Judah, with the house of Israel, Ephraim, the northern kingdom. So he's gathering them all together. This is second Exodus language. And make them one stick, and they will be one in my hand. And the sticks on which you write will be in your hand before their eyes. Then say to them, Thus says the Lord God, surely I will take the children of Israel from among the nations. See, this is second Exodus language. Wherever they have gone, and I will gather them from every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be over them all. They shall no longer be two nations. What does that mean? They will no longer be northern kingdom and southern kingdom, nor shall they ever be divided into two kingdoms again. After King Solomon died, they split off into two kingdoms. That's when they were King David, King Solomon, they were all one nation. All the 12 tribes were ruled with one king. After King Solomon died, the tribes split up to the northern kingdom, 10 tribes, and the southern kingdom, 2 tribes. So, through some time, he divorced the northern kingdom, scattered them through Assyria, and they've been lost till this day. But when he returns, he will gather them all together, saying that they shall no longer be two nations, nor shall they ever be divided into two kingdoms again. They shall not defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will deliver them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and will cleanse them. Then they shall be my people, and I will be their God. This is when you see shall be then they shall be my people and I will be their God. This is covenant language. This is marriage language. So when he returns, I'm talking about our Messiah Jesus. When he returns, he will gather all the 12 tribes and actually go into the new covenant. Right now, we are in a time of engagement, betrothal. That's why we see the parable of the 10 virgins. We are to make ourselves spotless, keep our lantern lit, and make ourselves ready for his return. We want to be the wise virgins who are led into the house. We do not want to be the unwise who the door is closed upon, and he will tell us, I never knew you. He returns for his bride. He returns for the marriage supper. We must understand our biblical end times prophecy. We must understand our scriptures. So I will stop here. But again, I will say that when we see these Dawah guys, when they are doing their Dawah and they tell people that Muhammad came with the same message as we see in the biblical prophets, in the biblical scriptures, that he came with the same message, that is the lie. Unless they can show us in their Quran or their hadiths, reliable hadiths, we don't want no, because they do not accept any weak hadiths, only obviously only when it's convenient for them. But you know what? We'll just let them use any Islamic literature that teaches that all the 12 tribes will return to the land that was given to them, to their fathers when they came out of Egypt. Because our end times prophecy throughout the whole entire Bible teaches us that they shall all return, be brought back to their land, and never again will they be divided. That all the tribes of Israel will be one and ruled with under one king. That is the true Messiah Jesus, not the Islamic Isa. They are given people trying to say this in a nice way. They are given people false hope. They are given people deceit, untrue knowledge, or lies. They are setting people up to go to hellfire. They are not teaching true path to paradise, to everlasting life, to the tree of life. He is the only way to the Father. He is the only way to everlasting life. And I'm speaking about our Messiah Jesus. So the challenge is out there because this is more proof that Allah is not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Allah is not the God we know in our holy scriptures. And this is more proof. that it's one, either an error because they lack knowledge, whoever compiled, thus did not put it into the Quran, or two, they are lying because just like in Genesis, Satan told Eve, did he really say you would die when you eat the fruit of the tree of good and evil? Everything that I know, that I have witnessed, it was deliberately taken out. All these end times prophecy, this message that just conveniently has been left out of Islamic literature, that the Israelites will return on that day, which is the second coming of our Messiah, that he will gather all the Israelites, not just the Jews and the Christians, but all the Israelites and the Christians back to himself, back into the promised land that they want to cleanse of the Jews, the land that was given to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the fathers that came out during Egypt. Show us proof. I'm showing proof. I'm just putting bits and pieces on the hook because this is truth. And this is how we can prove that Islam does not preach the same message. So when they tell us that Muhammad came with the same message, they are lying. They are absolutely 100% lying, or them and whomever compiled this Quran that they follow was ignorant of this knowledge. They were deceived. Whoever spoke to him in the cave deceived him. It's true. This is why they want to put doubt in people's minds so they won't even read the Bible. Look, this Bible that you hold, I know you haven't really read it. I can tell by speaking with you, you're ignorant of your scriptures, but I'm telling you, I promise you, no matter what, don't read that thing, but I'm telling you, it's corrupted. But here, read this. This is the solution, right? It's just like there's nothing new under the sun. It's like things that we hear going on in the world, a problem is created, but then those same people that give us the problem also have the solution. Huh. Things that make you go, So here it is. Hit them with this. I'm not there at the park. None of these guys reach out to me. They don't want to speak to me because I'll ask them about their end times prophecy. And why does it mirror ours? Why do you have two end time entities coming in your prophecies to fight one person coming? But our prophecies has one person coming who fights two other end times end times entities that are coming. Why does your end times prophecy mirror ours? What's going on here? How can they really be the same God? Because I'm telling you, without the Quran, the Bible still stands. Without the Bible, there would have never been a Quran. Simple as that. The Quran is the forgery, is the corruption of our one true book, the Holy Bible. I thank you for listening. The one true God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, may he comfort you and bless you. Shalom.